Chain wallet? Why not? Spike jacket? Sure. Brass knuckles? Whatever.
What's going on, Metalheads? Thank you all for tuning into this week's episode of the Metal Forge. My name is Mark Jackson, and I am your host. This week, we are, going across the ocean again, and I always love talking with bands from overseas. The day I'm recording this, I actually have a two-shot with a band from Sweden here and a band from Lithuania coming onto the Metal Forge soon. So, not my first Swedish band, unfortunately, but an awesome one that I've been checking out. Dysthen from Sweden. Dudes, what's going on? Introduce yourselves. Who do we have here?
Yeah, we can start out with me. Ageless here, guitars, we're all the main core of songwriting, so it's going great, having some coffee.
Hell
awesome.
Yeah.
Right, so my name is Sebastian, and I'm the drummer in the band. I just got a water with me, but I'm ready to speak about the band.
Hell yeah. So, how are things there? Because I always start with the how are things there question, because I'm in the United States. I'm in the Midwest. I'm around Louisville, Kentucky. So about as flyover as it gets. We get a big festival once a year. We get a few big festivals. We have the Kentucky Derby horse race, and then just it's whatever. What I know what my approximation to what my life is. So whenever you're out there, how are things? How are things in Sweden where you all are? How's life there?
I mean, life is great, I'd say. There's tons of good music. There's tons of festivals close by. There's tons of good bands, and overall, I'd say it's really nice. I really enjoy my time this week.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like a bit of a doom and gloomy weather here in Stockholm, I would say. So coming to you straight from, it's been pretty hot recent last couple of days, so my polar bear blood is kind of melting, I would say. But yeah, I mean, right now it's very rainy, cozy. And everything, it's like the summer just started, everything is coming alive after the slumber of winter and all of those darker periods when it's like the most perfect time to write music. So yeah.
Hell yeah. You mentioned that, and it's awesome, because that's kind of how it was here this past week. We've had some really rainy days, and the doom and the gloom has really, and it's the start of summer, when you get those early summer rains, and then it's just like everything's coming alive, and it's time to ramp up and start doing the thing and all the stuff and playing shows and going to the festivals and just conversing and getting over the, like you said, the slumber of winter of the writing period. And I think that's interesting because I am not particularly really a huge black metal guy, but it's not because it's not like I don't appreciate anything, but I always want to get more into something. And so when you all were getting into metal and black metal in particular, what drew you to it?
Yeah, I can answer it first. Oh, sorry. Shall I answer it first? Shall you take it?
Let's just say you can answer first, Oselageth. Then I'll.
Yeah, sure. So we'll split it around here and so we have some kind of order. I think it is. I was mainly into a lot of punk in my teen years, and I think the watershed moment, kind of when I started going onto my own journey of discovering music, it was when I heard Wood by Alice in Chains actually, and I got really interested into like more darker aspects of music, I would say. So it was during like my teen years in high school where I tried to like discover like the most extreme, but the most extreme stuff within metal and also within like electronic music and stuff like that. But what drew me into like black metal, it kind of like resonated like with me because there is such an abundance of emotions that can be displayed. I mean, like the most abundant, I would say, of any metal genre, because you got everything from like super angry, like pissed at the world stuff, until like this sad, very beautiful kind of music. It's been mainly since my teen years that I got more and more into black metal, and it's been like a huge part of my live for the better part of a decade, I would say.
Sure. That's so interesting that you cited Wood of all songs by Alice in Chains. Such an amazing song. And that is very interesting because around the time that that I first heard that as well, when in my teenage years, and I'm in my 40s. So as you know, the song stands the test of time at this point, but it is definitely, when you explore darker themes in music and whatnot, and not just necessarily on a lyrical standpoint, or even a music, like an instrumentation standpoint, but you experiencing both sides of it, going into typo negative and carnivore and that style of stuff, and then going into the goth, going into the black metal, and seeing like the similarities. And what was your introduction, Sebastian?
I'd say, I mean, I started out listening to a lot of I just wanted to find more and more aggressive music. It started out with punk for me as well, and then I started dwelling into more like death metal, and started getting more heavy, wanted more faster music. But actually, black metal didn't really click for me until a couple of years later, when I was around my 20s. Because I was searching more for the melody, more the somber feeling, harsh, cold but beautiful. That's really what got me into black metal, especially like the most bands the bands that I like the most are actually more the melodic ones, like synths and stuff like that. Not like a gothic black metal, but for example. Sure. Like Dysthen, for example, is something I enjoy very much. So I wanted fast stuff, but wanted more melodic and wanted more. That's what started me searching black metal bands.
Yeah. And that's what the interesting thing that as Gilead that you said a moment ago was, even in black metal, there's still so many different facets of metal, because there's traditional black metal, there's symphonic black metal, there's and I joked about it before we even started rolling about the ones that the Fisher Price tape recorder type stuff, and the stereo. I know that's the stereotype and everything, but but there are those purists out there where it has to sound like the most lo-fi, the most original sound that the pioneer sound, I guess, that you could get. I think in some genres of metal they call them purists or whatever, but I think I don't know what that means. But so what are we going into 2026 with? We've got the new release, the new EP release. What do we got? Let's talk about that. Osgiliath, I assume you're the main songwriter on things. So, are you bringing the riff in, or how are you bringing it up?
Yeah, I mean, it's I've been like taking it over a bit more with like the foundational songwriting, I would call it, because on the EP release, it's a lot more split between me and our vocalist Christian. Because two of the songs on the EP he wrote, I did some minor changes on the song Lotus, but it's mainly, and Vest final song on the record is pretty much intact from the demo version that he wrote. And I contributed with Aurora and Wheat. But it's been more that I've been taking over with like the foundational songwriting and then it's more of a collaborative effort after I put down the foundation with Christian and Sebastian coming with a lot more of the input with the song structures and like those nitty gritty finer details. So we're currently writing on the full length record. It's a lot of effort required because I think that all of us are going out of our comfort zone. And it's like entirely new since it's very much of a collaborative effort from the three of us for the main songwriting part. So it's more, so it's writing that one and currently promoting the EP that is out and also trying to book some shows also to promote it as well in the works, mainly to get out of Stockholm and play hopefully abroad and also other places in Sweden is the plan.
Hell yeah.
Since we only have 4 songs so far, I mean, we've started. We have our sound. We have an idea what kind of sound we want to make. But like you said, we are working together to try to figure out what the next step is. But we already have some songs in the work, and laying the foundation is the main thing right now when it comes to the full length that we are working on right now.
Definitely. So you all are all in the same area, I'm assuming. So you all are getting together and practicing and actually in the room together doing this.
Yeah, so I live a bit away. I live in Uppsala, so it's a bit away from Stockholm where we're rehearsing, but we basically rehearse every single Friday. So a lot of music is written beforehand, and then I usually write some drum stuff, and then we try it out in the rehearsal room, and we do this consistently, like if not every week, every other week, something.
Sure. And see, that's amazing because in a world where, like I said, we're talking, 6,000 miles, apart, you're 6 hours ahead of me right now or whatever. So, but that's the whole thing is like, there's so many bands that this is the band now. Like this could be the thing. And you just do it. And to actually get together with musicians and write in a room together is still amazing. And I think, cannot be topped when in the process, when you can actually do it.
Yeah. I mean, there's tons of bands that seem to be doing great, like writing from each their own, where they're even if they live very far apart, they can write killer songs and all that. But it's definitely just playing together. It just makes you feel more like a band, and I think the music will. You can hear that in the music. It just feels tighter and more. It's easier to write songs that everybody feels something for, I'd say.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, exactly. And you get also to like know each other because I mean, like what I perceive in like the songwriting process, especially when we write in the rehearsal space and we all brainstorm ideas and also kind of like try to play through the songs, play specific parts numerous times, I would say, you improve also as a band and also as a musician, like our rehearsal this Friday, where me and Sebastian were just like warming up. I was playing like some riff, and Sebastian was warming up on the drums, and we like finished exactly at the same time. And it's kind of like it gets kind of it might be like weird to like bring in like a lot of those more abstract psychological aspects, but it's like becomes a bit of like that you're synchronized a bit more.
The syncopation, yeah. And you know that I always make the joke. So whenever that happens with me and something like happens like right when it needs to, it's like, well, I am a musician, perfect timing. You know, and it's like I am definitely not perfect timing of anything, you know. I suck, you know, but like no, when stuff like that happens, it's like, hey, that's cool. That's totally cool. So in music today, there's so much out there. Everybody, you know, the rock star thing is still out in full force. Now it's just going viral. So writing music today, what do you want to make? How do you change it to make it your own? Sebastian, you can start with this one. How do you make, so in the genre that you create, how are you changing it to make it your own and stand tall, I guess?
Yeah. So well, it's very hard to write something that's not already been written, right? So basically every riff has already been written, I'd say. And you take inspiration, you take influences, like me, as a drummer. Of course, I hear stuff and I take influence from it. But I mean, in the end, we play black metal, and and I'd say it's up to the listener to decide whether we feel original or whether we feel special or not. But I'd say it's very important to put down a lot of your soul and really create songs and create beats and all that speaks to you mainly, to make it personal. And I think that's what we try to do, and not to write weird stuff just to be different or just to make a statement, but to make music that means a lot for us, for all of us. And with that, I do believe that we can create music that you might never have really heard before. Yeah.
That's an amazing answer, because, you know, just doing it because you want to do it. And then, riffs have been written before. And you're going to come across a riff that has been written and you're like, oh, maybe that does sound too much like it. Well, you know, next. And then, you know, assigning the fan base to make that determination, and you're writing just for you, is amazing. Because, you know, that's, I think, where most people don't get it. And, you know, when you're writing for you, you know, that's when I think most people connect with it.
Yeah. I definitely do believe that as well. Yeah. And since, we're doing this is our hobby, right? This is our passion. So we can do this. We can just play whatever. I mean, it could be like one person that listens to us, and it doesn't matter too much for us. We'll still do it, you know. I guess it's a bit different if you like your livelihood depends on it. But I think even if your livelihood depends on it, I think this is one of the most important parts of writing music.
Oh yeah. There's a great meme out there, and it's a band on a corner stage in a bar, and there's one guy standing in front of him, and it says, "We'd like to thank Bobby for coming out tonight." And and two things. One, I'm going to share it on the screen, just so when y'all can watch back, you can see it. But but for 2, it was actually at a bar in my town, and that's the great thing. But yeah, you do it for, if there's if there's one person there, or 60 local drunks that come down and are always there, you do it. Or if there's 250 or whatever, or even whatever the size. What did you have on that one, Osgiliath? What are you bringing to the table differently?
I mean, it's kind of like, I think that Sebastian put it very well, that we mainly write for ourselves, because I kind of like have this, while I'm writing, I usually like try to walk away from my home studio and like computer after like working for a couple of hours on a song, and listen to it with kind of like a new set of ears, to say so, and perceive it as a listener, and kind of like detach myself from it to like, how would a listener perceive this? Is there anything that so I kind of like, I write like the music that I want to listen to. It's like as simple as that in a way. It's if I feel that I'm in a specific genre, that something is lacking in a particular sound, I'm like, oh, I want to tap into this and like start doing this that I feel is lacking in, say, black metal or death metal that I also write, or like electronic music. I just like want to write music that I feel is doesn't. I only hear it in my head, and I can't really find it like nowadays that much. The more I discover it, but it's also a lot of those newer black metal bands that have inspired me a lot, like Shamash and Panzerfaust and Decline of the Eye, who are doing like really bending the rules of what black metal is. It's not really like that Fisher Price, like old school dungeon recorded, but it's more like very slickly produced and very experimental in a way, and just bends the rule of the entire genre, which fascinates me. And it's kind of what I like to call a part of black metal is the Promethean spirit that I think has been like the silver lining through a lot of black metal, that it's trying to, you're still going to hear that it's black metal foundationally, but it's always kind of like about breaking new ground and trying to be like the first to discover the fire with like, and paving your own path with that torch. I would say it's like the most fundamental part of black metal for me is that Promethean spirit.
Definitely. And you're right, because some of the wildest recording like techniques have come out of black metal, especially like with like isobox use and stuff like that, where just like mic placement around things have, the technique of recording has really changed, and with black metal in particular, I think has a big part to play in that. So and as you said, it's not just all dungeon and Fisher Price. There is actual thought that goes into it, and that's where the jokes and the memes and stuff like that. Yeah, as we mentioned a little bit before, like with the movie thing, the Spinal Tap moments are great, but that's not the whole aspect of it. There's more, but there's more to it, that like that the average person, I guess, just doesn't see.
Correct.
Absolutely. Yeah. So 2026, new EP, writing full length, looking for shows, looking to do some more shows in Stockholm, getting out of Sweden a little bit, going abroad. Hell yeah. Sounds like a plan. As this is already the middle of the year, we're full steam ahead at this point, and it's only and it's only getting faster, it feels like. So I also like to break over, ask some general questions about you all as people, because deep down, we all have the day jobs. I sell auto parts in my day job, so whenever your car breaks down, I can't help you where you are, but I can help the people here and whatnot. So, speaking of jobs, what is a job you would never want to do?
Wow, that's a big question. I mean, all kinds of work leads to something, right?
Mm-hmm.
To be honest, I'd question myself if I wanted to be like a full-time touring like musician. Would that really
That's
be
a
a
big
thing?
one.
Yeah,
You
I'd
gotta
actually
want
say
that life.
yeah, definitely. So I've actually thought about that from time to time, and it's never it seemed like something too calling for me. So sure, I could do some shows. Sure, I could go abroad, do some shows, but being on the road for like weeks or even months, like and especially like in the beginning, barely getting by, and like sleeping in a like van or something, that I'd say that'd be quite
Yeah,
horrible. I
because you
wouldn't
can't
like that, I
afford
think.
a place to
Yeah,
stay. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
I mean, uh, it's a really good question because I've been like here and there. I used to work at a butchery actually, and it was horrible because yeah, I mean like it was industrial meat. So there were,
Mm,
I would say that there were not a lot of like mentally healthy people working there, especially like the butchers themselves were kind of like you really a special type of people that you need to. It's that kind of like work environment where you need to be kind of like a bit of like detached. And also, I've been like unemployed for a very long time, which has been really taxing on my own mental health. So I would say that not having a job to go to, it's like very challenging, especially after a long time. But I think that me as a very deep down, like very sympathetic and caring person, I don't think I could ever work a lot where you need to like take care of people, like in hospitality or in
yeah.
sales. I think because it would be like people have actually said like, "Oh, you would be such a great salesman," and I'm like, it's about my conscience at the end of the day. I don't think I could like live with myself and see myself in the mirror after like
Sure.
yeah trying to sell stuff to people. I don't, yeah.
Yeah, I could totally get that. Yeah, I mean, being where I am doing sales, that's one thing, because people just come in and say, "Hey, I need I think you all would call them a generator. Over here, they're an alternator for their car." And it's like, okay, cool. What do you have? Clack, 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 and punch it up. Let me go get it. That's one thing. But like actually being like, hey, do you need this?
Yeah.
I don't think, hey, try this knife set. This is the best
Mm.
knife. No, I couldn't do that. Uh, Along with, as you said, anything caring with people. I had a job where I did pest control, and going into elderly buildings and stuff, and you be on like a rotation to their buildings, and like say you visit their building once every 3 months. And it's like, well, what happened to, where so and so? It's like, well, so and so passed away a month ago. It's like, oh, well, damn. It's like I really enjoyed their company when I came and did the inspection or whatever we had to do and whatnot. So yeah, that's pretty rough also. So yeah, that's a job I don't want to go back to doing. So people who do healthcare, and like you said, even with like the butchery that you were working in, you have to have a detachment to it, and I couldn't do it.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually do work in healthcare as a dietitian, so I'm not really I'm not
Right.
really in. I mean, I meet a lot of like sick people,
Sure.
and sometimes, if I have a booking like a home visit or something, and then all of a sudden I look up like I'm supposed to be there this Friday or something, and then it says they passed away or something like that. That's like the most close to that I get in my daily life.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, would you, I want to ask you a would you rather question? Would you rather carry
Shoot.
around a doll and talk to it, or and let people see that you do that, or would you rather talk to yourself out loud, just like with
That's a tough
So
one. I mean, I would go for. I think that it would. I don't think that I would be just as nuts as Nietzsche to go through it, to like start having a mental breakdown in front of a horse after getting flogged. A very famous story of the philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche. So I think that, yeah, talking to myself loudly, I think it would be, because I read so much weird philosophy that it's not too far fetched that it might occur sometime in the future.
would
it might be your future.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm on my way there.
I mean, I'm not a stranger to walking down the sidewalk and my inner monologue just like coming out of my mouth, being just like, and being like you'd mentioned a minute ago when we were talking about the music in your head, that you just hear it, and that is ultimately the bane of any musician's existence, is hearing the music that's in your head and not being able to put it on your instrument.
Hmm.
And I don't know about you all, but that's how I am. And if that makes me feel a little bit crazy, I guess, and I guess that's how it is. But like the music's always there, and yeah. So I'm totally, hey, I don't need the doll.
Yeah, I feel you. And I mean, it's kind of like peculiar that you mentioned that. I mean, some of my best ideas actually, like, it is kind of that one with that you need to take like breaks after, like, I think it is that I read somewhere that your brain can only like maintain like high focus for 45 to 50 minutes before it needs to take a break. And sometimes when taking a break is like when you leave it by the wayside, that you actually get like those really lightning in a bottle moments. I would say I can't count how many times I've been standing in the shower and had a melody going, and I needed to like actually rush out of my shower, and I'm like, I need to finish this one, and just like run to my home studio and just like start taking it out by ear with like melody that I have in my head, and sit with my guitar.
I
And
mean,
I got a good reverb in the shower, so I might like even use my phone to like record it
yeah.
while
So
singing it. So it's
totally yeah, bathroom reverb is the best reverb, right?
I do like the cathedral ones a bit more, to be honest.
Sure, absolutely.
Bathroom's too small.
uh, would you
The
rather
bigger, the
have,
better.
right? Would you rather have your house done in wall to wall mirrors or glow in the dark paint?
Definitely mirrors,
Yeah,
because I want to sleep at night.
right. Or so does it have to be like completely dark for you to sleep? Because I know that I've almost got to that point.
Yeah, well, I've gotten so used to it. Before I didn't really mind, but now I have all these like blackout curtains, and I make sure to make it as dark and as possible, just to have a good night's sleep and all that. So I'm way more sensitive now than I was before. If I like read something and I fall asleep with the lights on, I usually wake up after a couple of hours, and then that disturbs my sleep So definitely prioritize this darkness, even though I have to see myself all the time, but I wouldn't mind that too much.
Definitely.
Yeah, I think I would agree on that one with like, yeah, a good sentiment. And also like, I was kind of thinking with like, yeah, mirrors, I might go a bit insane. Also on the like previous topic, when you start like having yourself as an interlocutor.
Or
But
go
I think that it
extremely
might be,
narcissistic.
yeah, or it might be like one of my hobbies, which is like photography. I might like just like use those mirrors as kind of taking like a hammer to them and like smashing parts of it and trying to like take pictures of like the cracks and everything and
That's a
try to
good
use them as
idea.
optical illusions. So I think that, yeah, I would go for mirrors just for that aspect with like the artistic endeavor that I could use that for.
Yeah, that's a really good idea. You know, it's you could have different ones, you know, even like yeah. Maybe have a red mirrored room.
Yeah.
Yeah,
With
that would
like
be some pretty cool stuff. Yeah. If it has to
yeah,
all
blue
be
one.
mirrors. Mirrors would get me kind of like glow in the dark paint. Yeah, that would be just kind of wacky. Especially, you know, if you ever use like a UV light, because then that shit charges like crazy. But then if you did like mirrors though, like I can only imagine like sitting on your sofa and seeing something just like out of the ordinary just fall over across the room, but see it in the mirror and being like, what the hell was that? You know, and thinking, you know, like you said, it would probably play bad for your mental health, because you would totally think that you were being like watched constantly because it's you watching yourself constantly.
Yeah, you'd see yourself in
it's like watching yourself in the third person.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's
exactly. And yeah, also with like being watched, it's like, yeah, I think that it might become like a very like it's always like fun with that experience, especially when you go to like the amusement park here in Stockholm, Gröna Lund. You have like kind of with this hall of mirrors, and it's the classical clichés where one is that you get like super thin, one cuts off your head with like different optical illusions. So I think that you might start, receiving some pretty strange optical illusions, and it's kind of interesting with you mentioning we've been constantly watched. I recently got into a lot of like the paintings of Louis Wayne, who usually painted like very cute, like children's cats, but he was a paranoid schizophrenic, so the eyes of the cats they're kind of like dead once you start like really focusing on the stares of the cats. They're always watching, it's like always surveying. And I think that you would start to develop some of that aspect yourself after being surrounded by mirrors on a daily basis, that you might start embracing a bit of some semblance of paranoia, I think, after a while.
Oh, absolutely. I definitely think you would. Dudes, I have one more question, but before I get to it, as always, links, they're listed below. So give likes, shares, follows, do the things and all the stuff that you do on social media these days. Go to the Bandcamp page, get on the radar, like the Facebook pages, and you know, support in any and every way you can. Do the digital tip jars, you know, all of that stuff wherever you can. You know, if it's whatever on Bandcamp, duke a couple of bucks extra because it's worth it. Before we go, do you have any shout outs or anything else you'd like to promote today?
Well, no, not really. I mean, we released our EP like two weeks ago, and that's about it, I'd say. Go listen to it. I mean, get it however you want to get it, listen wherever you want to. And we are very happy and hope you like it. I'd say that's about it.
Hell yeah. So,
yeah, I mean,
Go
You can
ahead.
find it on all the streaming services. You can find it on Bandcamp. I mean, it's everywhere except physical. It's only digital.
Yes. And the physical media is always king, but hey, you got to do what you got to do, and the digital media is really where a lot of people are at with it these days. So
Yeah.
I totally get that. Osgiliath, did you have anybody you wanted to shout out or promote?
Not really. I think that Sebastian put it very eloquently, very well.
Hell yeah. Absolutely, absolutely. So my final question of the day, I always like to ask a question that's either way out there, out in space, way out there, out in your mind, a way out there kind of question. And what do you secretly love about yourself?
I'd say secretly. Specifically,
It's something that a lot of people wouldn't know about. Like what is something that you're very fond of about yourself?
I mean, speaking about us creating music, I think that's something I do love about myself is being open-minded. I mean, it's kind of cliche to say, maybe, but definitely, like when we create music, we listen to each other, we take everybody's opinions into consideration. We're not too like as a band, I'd say that works out very well for all of us. Being like, sure, we have our opinions, we have our ways of what we want to bring out through our music, but in the end, I'd say we can all discuss and we get along that way.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I mean, one thing I could say about you, Sebastian, that you should secretly love about yourself is you have a very good ear for melody for being a drummer. Because usually, drummers are more rhythmically oriented, but you have a good ear for melody, so it helps me with writing a lot.
Yeah,
thank you. Sebastian kind of looks like a drummer that I used to play with. And hearing that's kind of interesting because he's very into black metal as well. And but like he has a very good ear for melody and being a drummer as well. Mm-hmm. So you're definitely have you ever seen the person who does like the photographs of people who are like look like they could be twins? It could be like that kind of thing.
No, I want to see that picture. I want to. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah,
I'd say the same thing about you, Osgiliath, as well. I mean, it's your melodies that makes me gives me inspiration to give suggestions and add on your ideas, because it's interesting to hear like the whole thing, like wanting to, if you're a guitarist or you write melodies like on a piano synth or whatever, you usually have a lot of melodies in your head. I mean, I make some music as well with melodies, but as a drummer, I'm not going around like thinking about melodies too often. It's mostly I'm not a creative person like that. I'd say I don't get this urge of inspiration thinking about it in the shower or something like you said that you were. But I definitely do get my inspiration from hearing music. So when I hear music, when I hear someone creating music, and when I'm adding my beats, I get a feeling like, yeah, I want to add this beat. But if the melody went that way, I could do something different with the drums. Really thinking about how the melody can be made more interesting, or how the drums can make the melody more interesting. Like even if you're doing the same kind of riff over and over again, which is very you do a lot in black metal, you kind of do the same melody over and over again. Like how can you make these melodies sound different, but it's the same kind of melody? Just adding a different feeling drums, adding a new beat. That's what gets me going when it comes to like melody and creating music.
Absolutely. I couldn't have said that better myself, actually, because that's totally what it is for me, even, you know. And I'm a bass player by trade. So, and, you know, having that melody, that place that I can just sit there and get into, top notch, totally top notch. Sebastian, thank you. Osgiliath, thank you for doing this. This has been awesome. On our way out today from Dysthen, what are we playing? What's the visualizer video that you all have available?
All right.
It's for the song Wheat, which is the most melodic song, I think, that we've done, and I think it is because the other song that I wrote, Aurora, it was a bit different from the beginning, and it had to be made a couple of changes. But Wheat, I think, has been the most consistent through the way out. I don't remember if I did too many changes on it after its initial version. So I think it's like I don't know, it's beautiful but dark, I would say, and very black metal to the core with the black metal that it's epic, but and beautiful and dark, and it's like a journey all the way through.
And it totally jams.
Thank you.
And it totally jams. Gentlemen, thank you so very much. Shout out to the vocalist who's listening in, who isn't here.
Hopefully we didn't say anything too weird.
No, definitely not. Thank you all so very much. I appreciate you all. Metal every day. As always, Wheat.
Hey metalheads, you like tattoos? Of course you do. If you're in the Louisville, Kentucky area, come on over the bridge to Clarksville, Indiana, and get you some ink done at Ageless Art. If ink isn't your thing, they have a piercing studio as well. Visit agelessartclarksville.com to see some frequently asked questions, meet the staff. The shop is open Monday through Thursday, 12 to 8 p.m., Saturdays, 12 to 10 p.m., and Sundays, 12 to 6 p.m., all appointment-only spots. You can set up your appointments by phone at 812-283-1793 or email agelessarttattooandpiercing@gmail.com and someone will get you set up for your first or your next tattoo or piercing.
Hey metalheads, after going to a rager, what's your ultimate go-to? Mine is totally pizza. So when Overload is playing or I'm promoting the Metal Forge live showcases or the big goddamn metal show, I go to Pizza DoNisi. Pizza DoNisi is gourmet artisan pizza from right here in Louisville, Kentucky. It features things like the pizza of the month to sandwiches and also vegetarian and vegan options, which is so totally fucking cool for all of it's awesome pizza. You definitely want to go. Hey, and also from time to time they do cannolis. Oh, so fucking good. You know what they said, man? Leave the gun, take the cannoli. Yeah, just like that in Godfather. They're located right next to the Mag Bar at 1396 South 2nd Street. So either stop in or call in at 502-213-0488. They're open till midnight. The witching hour.
Heineken, fuck that shit! Pabst Blue Ribbon!
Alright, metalheads, time to listen. That's right. Definite Metal Stomp, Awesome Brews, Pizza Next Door, check. Metal shows, double check. That's right, Mag Bar at 1398 South 2nd Street in Louisville, Kentucky. Friends of the Metal Forge for years. Get in there, get some drinks, get some pizza, see some bands, metal every day.
In 2017, one man's vision and passion for all things metal started out as a record store in his house. Years later, the fight against a mainstream empire continues as Shadebeast. An independent metal collective and online store based in Athens, Georgia, is the world's premier heavy metal brand for music heads that value authenticity over the mainstream acceptance. Featuring original t-shirts from some of the best underground artists, as well as stickers, posters from the Shadebeast Presents concert series. Unique, one-of-a-kind collectibles and small curated selection of vinyl and cassettes from the masters old and new. Visit shadebeast.com and enter promo code SithLord for free domestic shipping on your first order, whether you're a new customer or returning. And be sure to join the Shadebeast social groups on Facebook and the interwebs to keep up with the new release announcements and talk all things metal and Star Wars. You'll never find a more wretched hive of scum and filth.
Welcome to the night. You think you know Night Demon? Then the Night Demon Heavy Metal Podcast is for you. Step into the darkness as we peel back the curtain to give you an unprecedented, all-access look into the mind and the heart of the demon. We're talking band history, song analysis, studio anecdotes, stories from the road. It's everything a diehard Night Demon fan could want and more. This is the only place to learn the inside scoop, the deep dive trivia, the untold tales from the band members themselves and those closest to the Night Demon story. Need more? The Sacred Night Demon Crypt will be pried open to reveal demo recordings that have never before seen the light of day, all with in-depth commentary by the band and the people who were there for the writing and recording process. This is a gold mine, a treasure trove of all things Night Demon. Head over to nightdemon.net or wherever you listen to podcasts.
What's up, Metal Forge fans? This is Alan Bishop, the alchemist of Indiana's Black Forest and head distiller at Spirits of French Lick. Do you find yourself drawn to the unexplained, fascinated by the Fortean, or enchanted by the paranormal? If the things that go bump in the night resonate in your mind, then tune into my brand new podcast, If You Have Ghosts, You Have Everything. Featuring first-hand accounts, collected stories, interviews, history, and speculation related to all things not of this world. Available now on Anchor, Spotify, Google, Amazon, and more. Set back, relax, and remember, if you have ghosts, you have everything.
Hey, let me tell you guys about Mercenary Press. They're an independent London label and distributor of all things metal. Mercenary Press delivers the goods from their own independent zine. Trust me, you're going to want to get in on that. To distributing various bands from all over the world, including Cramp from Spain and Sadistic Force from Texas. Visit mercenarypress.bigcartel.com to find out what all they have in stock and what you can order. And for Metal Forge listeners, enter code METALFORGE10 to receive a discount on your total purchase at mercenarypress.bigcartel.com. Check it out now.
In a broken wasteland, come to my fire and place your blood and steel upon